Give me a minute and let's talk about the successful strike on the Novatek liquefied natural gas facility near St. Petersburg at the port of Leningrad, right on the Sea of Finland. Now, you can see here, this is where I am. This is Kyiv. And that is, according to Budanov, the head of military intelligence for Ukraine, they flew a drone 1,250 kilometers to hit the target. This is the farthest north into deepest inside of Russia to hit a target to date. That's a technological advantage. Now, it was back in August that the Ukrainians first announced that they had a 1,000-kilometer drone. This is 25% farther than that. And highly successful hit, as we all saw. Now, this particular port is responsible for half of the crude oil exports that go out of the Baltic Sea. Half of them go through this port, which is now shut down and expected to stay shut down for the next couple of weeks. Not only does it export crude oil from here, but it also is a refining facility for liquefied natural gas and other petroleum products like kerosene, diesel, naphtha, that sort of thing. And so the LNG plant, the liquefied natural gas plant, is up there at the top, the Novatek plant. The gas gets piped in, gets liquefied, and then it gets put in these storage tanks. Gets refined into kerosene or gas oil products, gets put in these storage tanks. Now, my understanding is that the fire was up top here at the plant itself, and that the plant will be shut down for a while. But notice what's right in front of the plant, the loading berths for the tankers. The tankers all had to flee the fire. They're out in the Baltic Sea right now, all just waiting for God knows how long until a berth is going to be ready. We don't even know if those berths were damaged or not. And if they weren't damaged, it's likely they'll be the next target. But not only are the 5 tankers that were in port at the time that had to flee waiting out at sea, but other tankers are as well, the ones that were coming in empty to fill up. Now, how long is it going to be? Nobody knows. But looking at these pictures, it's going to be weeks before Novatek can get this plant back up and running. They've shut it down, and it's going to stay shut down for a while. Now, I wonder, will they be able to get it up and running? When Russia launched its war of aggression against the people of Ukraine, the Western experts fled. They don't have the cold weather climate oil specialists from Shell and Exxon that they once had at their disposal. You got to know what you're doing up there, and it's the middle of winter. The country is under sanctions. Do they have the replacement requirements? We don't know the answer to that. And when the facility finally reopens, will it be jury-rigged to the point that it's a danger to the workers themselves, which I think is very highly likely, looking at Russia's track record on this. But we should not think of this as an isolated incident. No. 2 days before, we had the attack on the oil storage facility in Klinsky, just in Bryansk, right across the border from Ukraine. 10 days before that, on January 9th, we had the attack on the Oriel oil storage depot, a critical depot for fueling, one of the 4 critical depots responsible for getting fuel to the front line for the Russians. And its associated energy company plant, offices or headquarters there. Clearly, the Ukrainians have changed their tactics. So my buddy Bobby, who's been saying the Ukrainians have to start hitting Russian oil facilities, was right. You were right, Bobby. You called it, pal. We see now a pattern of the Ukrainians hitting these facilities. Now, what's the implication of that is for another video, but this pattern of hitting these facilities could well jeopardize not only Russia's ability to fuel its vehicles at the front line, like we saw with the Klinsky and the Oriel attacks, but the attack on St. Petersburg means all the revenue from all those oil sales going out of the Petersburg port are shut down for the foreseeable future. They're hitting them in the pocketbook, in the wallet, where it counts. You cannot run a war without money. And Russia's money is now held up.